Today I have the Asus Zenfone 8 and Zenfone 8 Flip, both of these bad boys, and trust me when I say that they're actually really good and I think they're pretty much undervalued. So hello there guys, my name is Vic from PhoneArena, bringing you a review of the Asus Zenfone 8 Flip and the rather small but interesting Asus Zenfone 8. So this year Asus didn't change much with the Zenfone 8 lineup. At least with the Flip model, as they're now calling it, it's identical to the Zenfone 7 Pro. We still have the same 6.67-inch sized design with a rather cool flip camera, acting as a front-facing camera too. The back is made of glass and the sides are a nice metal feel. On the left you get your SIM tray and nothing else. The bottom houses your charging port and, interestingly, a notification light. The right side is where you'll find all your buttons and a nice blue accent, which I kind of appreciate. The top is where you'll find the 180-degree triple camera system, and the whole front of the device is a screen. I mean, not all of it, but it's still rather pleasing to see all of the screen without a camera. Of course, there is a bit of a plastic separating the screen from the metal frame, but you should be happy to have it since it acts as a bumper to protect the glass from shattering in case, you drop the phone on the side or pretty much on a hard ground. In any case, this is not all Asus has done this year. The Zenfone 8 is a rather nifty device. I mean, it looks rather stale, much like a brick with a displaced camera on the back, but in all honesty, it's also very comfortable for small-handed people like me, coming in at 5.9 inches. Its back is made of plastic, the sides are a nice metal finish, and you get the same pleasing notification light at the bottom. The power button is also the same eye-pleasing blue color. Since you don't have a motorized camera here, you instead get a hole-punch camera for the front one. I just wish it didn't have a silver outline, but I guess I can live with that. One thing some of you might be happy to see here is also a headphone jack on the top. Few devices can boast about this nowadays. One additional thing I'd like to mention here is the fact that the Zenfone 8 is also IP68 certified for dust and water resistance, whereas the Flip is not due to its motorized camera system. In terms of performance though, much like the 2JZ swapped Miata, the Zenfone 8 and 8 Flip are no slouches, with the help of their flagship SoC, the Snapdragon 888. I never really felt slow with either of these two devices. The high refresh rate panels are probably helping a lot, but it's probably also the fact that the Snapdragon 888 is also the best you can currently get in a phone. The temperature did rise a bit on both when doing intensive tasks, but I guess that's a small price to pay for maximum performance. Out of the two though, I'd say that the smaller Zenfone 8 is more, kind of impressive. It really has almost no cut corners at this size. Display-wise, both of these devices are superb. They come with high refresh rate AMOLED panels made from Samsung, and they both can set the refresh rate automatically in order to save power. But while the smaller Zenfone 8 tops out at 120Hz, the larger Flip can only muster 90Hz at best. I should also note that both are relatively sharp at a resolution of 1080 by 2400 pixels, but the smaller size of the Zenfone 8 makes it rather sharper when you look at it. Otherwise, colors are vivid and pleasing to the eye. Brightness is also more than perfect for outdoor use, with 821 nits measured for the smaller brother and 772 nits for the bigger one. Camera-wise, these devices are also interesting. The bigger Flip model comes with a triple camera system that you can use as a front-facing camera too. You have the option to move the camera 180 degrees and set the angle yourself, or you could also have predefined positions for it. The smaller model, on the other hand, comes with a dual camera system. The front-facing camera is also decent, coming in with 12 megapixels, capable of videos up to 4K at 30 FPS. The bigger 8 Flip was pretty nice to use actually. The back camera, doubling as a front one, did really decent selfies. Actually, better selfies than the Zenfone 8 in most cases. I noticed a good overall dynamic range, but of course also more depth in the Zenfone Flip, even without using portrait mode, which was nice and is kind of expected since you're using the 64 megapixel sensor as a front-facing camera. Night shots were also pretty nice from the front, but alas, the smaller brother does not offer night mode for the front-facing camera. Otherwise, I also went around to do some photos from the back. Of course, with the Flip, I didn't notice much of a difference from the front to the back, but you could get some interesting shots, like this tree in the sky without having to bend backwards like an idiot. Yeah. The Zenfone 8 was pretty much on par during the day, and yeah, with a bit of a back motion, I actually managed to take that photo too. In terms of zooming in, the bigger Flip offers a 3x optical zoom camera that does clear shots from afar. The small Zenfone 8 is also capable of doing zoomed photos with the help of the high megapixel sensor, 64 megapixels, but in some cases it wasn't exactly as sharp as the, just having a dedicated optical sensor, but it managed to do the job pretty well, so I'm not gonna pit it against it. The video quality was really nice on both. I can't stress enough how important video stabilization is for making good quality footage, and both devices are amazing in this regard. Walking is smooth, given that my hands are shaking all the time. Additionally, this stabilization translates well into taking photos without blur. As a bonus, you also get a super steady video mode, which utilizes the wide camera to remove even more shake, but I tend to avoid the option as it does lower quality quite a bit. Where these two phones kind of lose quality is in those dark but not yet night shots, where noise starts to creep in and details just, kind of seem to fade. But I guess any camera would suffer in such a scenario. In the dark, both of these phones are champions, if you ask me. They managed to bring out any light without, having too much noise. What surprised me the most was the smaller Zenfone 8 because it managed to pull in more light than the supposedly higher-end Zenfone 8 Flip, at the cost of a bit of a contrast, of course, but still impressive in most cases. The ultra-wide camera on both the Zenfone 8 and the Flip is the same, and while it does pretty nice shots, especially front-facing ones on the Flip, it still falls behind in terms of detail compared to the main sensors. But if you are in the mood of, macro photography, then you'd be delighted to know that the wide sensor is capable of focusing much closer and taking those shots for you. Battery-wise, both of Asus creations seem to do really well. The smaller Zenfone 8 comes with a 4000 mAh battery, but even if it isn't super massive, the smaller size of the device helps it live longer. Also, charging speeds are around 30 watts and it takes 30 minutes to go from 0 to around 70%. The bigger Zenfone 8 Flip looks more like every other flagship with its 5000 mAh battery, but with the same 30-watt charging speed, it takes a bit longer to charge than the smaller model. In any case, you can expect more than a day's use from these two devices, unless you actually decide to game maximum power on them. Our tests have showed us that while browsing the web at 60 Hz, the bigger Flip model does 11 hours and around 16 minutes, while surprisingly the smaller one does around 12 hours and 30 minutes. Watching YouTube videos was also a breeze, with the Zenfone 8 lasting us around 11 hours and 20 minutes, and the Flip doing around 8 hours and 18 minutes. Gaming on these two saw similar results. But of course, there is a catch here. Neither of Asus devices offers wireless charging, so if you must have this feature, you should look elsewhere. Overall, the Zenfone 8 and Zenfone 8 Flip were actually pleasing to use devices. I just have a feeling that they won't do as well in sales as Samsung and Apple, but trust me, if you give them a chance, they might surprise you with their flagship SoC, design, cameras, and just overall performance and feel in hand. They actually do feel rather nice. The smaller Zenfone 8 in particular is impressive. It boasts all these features with almost no compromise and a waterproof rating. So by all means, go and check both of them out. In the meantime, I'll enjoy using these two devices a bit more, see how they are. And if I missed anything, please let me know down in the comments below. Please subscribe to PhoneArena, and I'll see you guys some other time.